How's it going, guys? Dynamite here, coming to you as always from the Digital Warfare 24/7 forums, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys some PlayStation gameplay featuring forum member James as he plays some hardpoint on standoff here. So we see him working his way around the right flank of the central hardpoint, and that is going to allow him to shoot this guy in the back. Now watch this strafe jump here. You might notice it looks especially fluid, and that is because James is actually a champion of a way of holding the controller called the claw grip. Now as you can see from the image up on the screen right now, what that means basically is he curls his index finger over the top of his controller so that he can operate the face buttons without having to take his fingers off the joysticks. And what this allows for are incredibly fluid jump shots. And you'll notice that he's not using any kind of stock or quick draw attachment on his MSMC, he just has extended mags, and that is because his style of engagement highly reliant on jump shotting, as you see him take out that shotgunner there and grab that 870 and put it right to work in those close quarters. Really nice job. Now right here, let's pause and take a look at what just happened there. Now you saw he got taken out from the right as he rushed in through that doorway. Let's bring up the hardpoint rotation on standoff real quick. As you can see, it's going to start out in middle and it's going to rotate to the mechanics room or machinery or whatever you want to call it. But in any case, he probably should have known that someone was going to be setting up for that hardpoint right around that corner there. That is one of the usual spots to sit. You'll see that later in this gameplay he does exhibit a really good knowledge of where these spots are that people will sit to set up, but in that case he happened to miss that one. So let's roll and see how he is going to approach the machinery hardpoint as the hardpoint is about to rotate in 3, 2, 1, boom. So now he's going to lead with a concussion grenade through the middle. He's going to take out that shotgun guy, and now he's going to flank around the right side. And right here is something that I don't like to see, and I'm going to pause it right here while we talk about it real quick. And that is going to be what I call sort of like a half-hearted engagement. And this is something that I'm guilty of doing a lot of the time too, is where I think I know where somebody is, but I can't make up my mind as to whether I want to directly engage him or maybe slowly poke around a corner. And James does that right here. He sort of gets caught in between what he wants to do. And basically what you want to do, you have to be decisive when you're initiating gunfights like this. Either you're going to be decisively moving to engage from a different area or run away to gain back health, or you're going to be decisively attacking. And when you get caught between two conflicting decisions like he did here, you usually end up getting taken out. So that is something that I can definitely advise. Now he's going to spawn back by ADOM, and he's going to be working his way back over to machinery. You can see his teammates clustering around there. He's going to once again lead with a concussion grenade in through there. And now that it's locked down, he's going to turn his way back and he's going to watch to see the enemies that are going to be spawning at ADOM and coming to try to take this. Now look, right there, really good move. He lets that guy run past, doesn't attract attention to himself, and then 1, 2, 3. He destroys those 3 guys, and that is because he went unnoticed for that period of time. He does get taken out there, but you'll also realize that he still had 9 shots left in his magazine at the end of that. He's using extended mags to get his 40 round total, so he almost could have killed all 3 of those guys without the use of extended mags, which is really impressive and really good accuracy on the part of James. So now you can see that the hardpoint is about to switch over to Grandma's house, is what I call it. I think there are other callouts for it that more professional people use, but basically James is going to be setting up here in one of the really good hold points right next to this bed. He has perfect cover from people coming to his left. He can watch people coming in through the windows, and look at right there. That's a really good move. He has a chance to engage that guy over the bed. He engages the first guy, but then he sidesteps and changes up his engagement angle to take out the second guy that was coming around the corner. That's a really good move, and you can see he gets stunned here and there's not a whole lot he can do, so he just hides up against the wall, tries to contest the hard point for as long as he can, and then ends up getting taken out. Now right here, I really like this sentry placement from James, and let's pause it real quick and talk a little bit about this. Now you can see that those pallets in front of him are going to afford him an absolutely fantastic head glitch spot to lock down the right side of the map while defending this hard point. Probably the more open side is going to be the left side, and that's why he had the sentry gun facing that way. This is a common theme that you're going to see in this gameplay of James using really smart sentry placement to lock down the areas of the map that are more vulnerable, while he himself watches areas where he can take more cover behind. So let's see what happens here. He's going to sit here behind these pallets, and he's going to try to take out some of the guys who are coming from the Grandma's house hardpoint. He manages to pick one up there, and now he's going to stand up, he's going to pop over, he hears a guy over by his turret, doesn't want that to get taken out, so he comes back to defend it, ends up taking up that guy, guy, but now he knows he needs to push back over to this side. Maybe he should have been a little bit more cautious about abandoning that head glitch on that right side. Now he's going to call in a lightning strike right out in the middle of the map without taking cover, and that's something that I find very uncharacteristic of James, because most of the time, as you'll see, he does a really good job of hiding when he calls in his kill streaks. That time though, maybe he thought it was a little bit more urgent because he wanted to stop the people who were spawning from getting up to where the hard point is. Look at that control on that jump shot, really nice. And again, that is because he's using the claw grip that he's able to keep his aim on point so accurately when he's jump shotting like that. Really impressive. And you can see there his extra 10 rounds in his magazine from extended mags paying off as he gets that wallbang shot on the guy that's over at CDOM. Now he's racking up his kills again. He's already getting close to his next sentry, and that's good because the hard point is only about 6 seconds from migrating, and there he earns his sentry. Now this sentry is going to be really good for setting up for his next hard point, so let's see where he ends up putting it. He's actually going to run up through the middle here. This is where that hard point is situated. Now a really interesting thing to talk about here is prioritizing hard points. So there are certain hard points on every map that are going to be easier or more difficult to defend based on how open they are, how many points of approach there are, and this is one where this central hardpoint right here in Garden is one that's really difficult to defend, because you can see people can come off spawn and come from all different directions. You'll notice he's not putting down his sentry gun. That's because he knows that it's going to be extremely difficult to lock down this hardpoint with it. So what he's actually going to do is, watch this, he's going to set it up there watching that open area to the left of Machine Shop, because he knows that's where the hardpoint's going to rotate to next, and then he moves around to the right here to cover the approach from this side, which offers a lot more cover. You'll see he has pallets, he has a ledge up there in Machine Shop. He's going to be able to lock this down a lot easier. Now he does get taken out there, but he isn't too fazed by that. 1 second left, and boom, there the hard point switches. He immediately wants to look over there to make sure no one gets behind his sentry gun. That's why he threw the concussion over there. Now he's just going to sit right on this lip after he puts some shots on that guy. And what that's going to force the enemy to do is they can either rush up his turret on the left side, or they have to mantle up to that window and engage with him up there. You see there he gets a triple feed with his sentry as people are just desperate to push in, but he's planned ahead, he saved his sentry for this hard point, and now he's locking it down and racking up kills and points from all these defends. So at this point, James is going to sit up in the window and wait to see what's going to happen. He has about 20 seconds left on this hard point, so he's going to be thinking to himself, where should I set up next? He does end up getting taken out by that guy, but that was probably inevitable as he had 2 people pushing up on him.
So here James realizes that the hard point is going to be shifting soon from Machine Shop to Grandma's house, and so he is going to set up there and pick up that guy. Really nice use of reload cancel to pick up the kill on that guy there as he entered the engagement with the magazine coming up in his hand, and he just canceled out of the animation in order to use his remaining rounds to take that guy out. Right there, I feel like he probably should have stayed ADS'd in on that window, but that nade had just come through and he was trying to reposition to avoid it, so it seemed like his positioning just got kind of messed up there. Now right here, he throws that concussion grenade up through the window, doesn't get a hit marker, which isn't surprising given the angle of the wall behind there. Anyone hiding behind the bed at that hold point up on the top floor of this hard point is probably not going to be able to be stunned by a grenade thrown in through there. He has a couple different options as to routes he can run. He can go up the stairs to the most direct route. He can jump off the back of Grandma's house with a very sneaky jump that I'm sure he knows but doesn't use in this match, or he could go around the front of Grandma's house. So let's see what he chooses to do. He opts for the staircase, the most direct route straight to the guy who's sitting up in the bed, which is a bit of a questionable decision in my opinion. I think maybe he could have gone with something a little bit more indirect. The jump up the back of Grandma's house might have been especially good. Now here you see him pre-nading before he goes in. This time he knows where they're sitting, takes out one guy, pokes in, takes out the second guy. Really nice secure for that hard point there. He's going to pick up the reload, and now he's going to know that the hard point is going to be switching shortly over to shops from Grandma's house in about 3 seconds now, so he's going to watch to see if anyone is moving over towards that hard point, but he presents his back to someone who came up the stairs behind him. Maybe they were trying to run to get the last couple seconds of that hard point, but right here you see him take out those 2 guys. You saw that he threw that stun grenade off to the left side first, which is a really good idea. If you stun in one direction, then people will usually try to point themselves towards where the stun or the flashbang came from, and then if you attack from a different side, you'll catch them completely off guard, and you'll see that this is something that James does on a pretty consistent basis. there he checks the score and gets taken out pretty much immediately. I think maybe he got thrown off a little bit. Sometimes when you check the score, you get motivated to rush in and engage in the action again, and at that point I think maybe James was just being a little bit not quite cautious enough. You can see him moving in here with the exact same approach he used last time, the stun grenade off to the left side and going in the right door. Ends up paying off there. He ends up getting the kill, and now he's going to sit here and do his best to secure this hard point. He knows it's moving to center at this point, and remember what we said about hard point prioritization. This is not a hard point that he is going to expect to hold, so see what he did there was really good. You might say, wow, he threw himself on that hard point even though he isn't going to be able to hold it, and even though he was really vulnerable and he got killed instantly, but those last 200 points that he got for the hard point secure real quick gave him what he needs to set up to protect this next hard point. So you see him going for the same setup for Machine Shop that he did last time, where he puts that sentry gun off to the left, and now I think we're going to see him move off to the right side here. Yeah, you can see he goes up to that window and he's just waiting to hold it down. Now he realizes, based on the amount of time left and the fact that he has a sentry gun on Machine Shop already, that he's probably going to win this game for his team at this point. So he's actually going to push up and contest these guys on the garden hard point and just try to go for a few more kills. And look at him here as he just uses some really good jump shotting, again taking full advantage of that claw grip to rack up some pretty good kills here and earn another set of kill streaks. Really nice job by James there. Now, it is interesting to note before we end this gameplay that he isn't using a C4. I think the reason why he's doing that is because a lot of people in this game type are going to be running flak jacket. C4 cannot kill a flak jacket user, so he's opting instead for just the stun grenade, which is going to give him advantage. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned until next week.